Greetings. If you work Monday through Friday, just remember you're halfway there. Today's devotional: strive for wholehearted devotion to God. He did what was right in the eyes of the Lord, but not wholeheartedly. 2 Chronicles chapter 25, verse 2, New International Version. The Bible says Amaziah did what was right in the eyes of the Lord, but not wholeheartedly. Contrast that with what God said about David in Acts chapter 13, verse 22, the New International Version. I have found David, a man after my own heart. He will do everything I want him to do. This can be a little bewildering because we read that in David's life, you find chapters of adultery, murder, and cover up. He's a disaster as a husband and inferior as a dad, but his heart is devoted to God. How do we know? Because when he makes mistakes and sins, he repents and desires to get right with God again. When David guided the return of the Ark of the Covenant to Israel, he danced before the Lord with all his might. That's in 2 Samuel chapter 6, verse 14. He put his whole self into it. If you wonder how that dance looked, the text reveals it involved King David leaping and dancing before the Lord. The heart in early history was the core of a person. It meant not only feelings, as we many times think of the heart, but the center of a person's being, especially the will. So wholehearted devotion to God reveals that you choose to embrace with all your energies. Amaziah lived 29 years of his life finessing his commitment to God. He did what was right, but his heart was elsewhere. David, in spite of his flaws, pursued God with all his heart. So today, strive for wholehearted devotion to God. Have a blessed day. In Romans 3:23, it says we all fall short of the glory of God. Now, that doesn't mean we don't love God. It also doesn't mean that we can keep doing what we know goes against God. Sometimes it's about being self-controlled. Sometimes there's a biological issue when it comes to that. Either way, if you desire to have a life pleasing to God, you have to purposely do the next right thing. And if you're struggling with doing the next right thing, or you just don't know what the next right thing is, then pray and ask God. He will lead you where you need to go. We just have to follow.